This is Power and Victory, exploding in your life through the incomparable teachings of Pastor Tony Smith, applying the word to real life issues through powerful teaching and powerful preaching. Get delivered and rise to your next dimension through the life-changing Word of God. Power and Victory, brought to you by Pastor Tony Smith of Baltimore, Maryland.
Hey, I'm Pastor Tony, pastor of Victorious Ministry. We're excited to be in your home again. Thanks. Please, for a powerful word just for you.
Hello and welcome to Conversations. I'm Evangelist Chantal.
I'm Pastor Lenora.
I'm Missionary Shantae. I'm Evangelist Sai.
And I'm Elder Poole.
And we welcome you to another edition of Conversations. Hello, ladies. How you doing today?
Hello.
Good? Good. I'm so glad that you ladies are here today. Our first topic, of course, is going to be about women. And why do we settle for less when we don't deserve it? Or, you know, when we don't deserve it. And I wanted to, for those who don't know, of course our viewers probably don't know this, but I love to eat. I love to eat good food.
Without repercussions.
Right. I love to eat, and I was using that as a tool against why do we settle for certain things. Whenever we go to a restaurant and the service that we have at that restaurant is not good, we tend not to go back there. If there's a certain food that you don't like to eat, for instance, I do not eat raw sushi, so I will not settle to eat raw sushi. Why do we tend to just settle for certain things like that? That's something, if you don't do it, why do we tend to just continue to go back forward to it? So I wanted to give you guys a quote that I had read today, and it says, the minute you settle for less than you deserve, you will get even less than what you settle for. Wow. So I want you guys, I really want us to give the, give your guys input dealing with relationship, dealing with friendship, dealing with your jobs, because even in the professional level of your work and you're thinking, okay, at least I get a paycheck, and that's like the number one thing that people are always saying, well, I get paid and my bills are paid, and that's fine, but is that really fine?
Well, I think some people are scared to take risk, and so when even, you know, dealing with employment, people feel like this is comfortable, I don't have to do anything, I know the system, I know the people, so for me to go out and venture out to look for something else that I desire, it's almost like you're putting yourself out there. And so I think sometimes people are afraid of risk, and so they'll settle or stay in positions that they don't desire and settle for less just for their comfort zone.
You think women do that more than men, or people in general?
I don't know. I would just say in general. I wouldn't say, you know, women versus men. I would just say in general.
I think that people for so long, certain people for so long have listened to someone tell them that you can't get any better. You're not gonna, you don't have the proper equipment, or you're not the proper knowledge to attain certain levels or goals, so you settle for what you have, thinking as long as I have it, that's enough. Where you should change your mindset and not listen to what you've been fed, but go out and feed yourself with more knowledge to acquire everything that you can. And it keeps people at a stuck position because you're like, okay, this is it. At least I'm good with this. I know that I'm good. It's not to say anything bad about fast food restaurants, but if you think, okay, I have a criminal record, or I've never had a job before, I'm a high school dropout, this is all that I can do, but that's not true. You may be able to start there, but you can build from there. People hire jobs. People hire people that have jobs.
That's right.
They don't hire the unemployed as much.
Yeah, not as much, not as much. Well, I think that, you know, specifically as it concerns women, that it really starts when we're little girls. The expectations that we're taught to have, and this is not necessarily a general statement, but for the most part, society raises girls differently to expect less. So we grow into adulthood with expectations that that meet what we were taught. So you know, women, a lot of women as little girls, we're told that what we ought to aspire to is to, you know, get married, be a wife, you know, have a family, and all those things are beautiful. But that sort, in a lot of women, that sort of was the cap of their expectations.
Right.
So anything beyond that, they don't necessarily work as hard for.
Well, let me ask you a question, Pastor Lenore. You mentioned how young girls are grown up to be something that they're striving to be married or have a good job. Do you think that's pressure to them not wanting to become that, because all the pressure with mom, with dad, and, you know, you got to do this, you got to do this. Do you think it would tend for them to lack and say, you know what, I'm not even going to work any harder because of the pressure?
Oh, absolutely. I think that depending upon the expectations that your parents or parent have put on you as a girl, that, you know, you're going to strive to please them. And if pleasing them means that, you know, getting married before a certain age and having children and giving them grandchildren and all of that, then you're going to work harder to do that than you might to attain other things in life. So I think it's just a matter of expectations, and a lot of times women settle for less in other areas because they were never pushed to strive for more in those areas.
I think the flip side of that also is sometimes you don't have pressure from parents, you have pressure from what you see that you don't want to become. Because in this day and time, we're unfortunately there are a lot more single family homes than two-parent homes, and you have a lot of children, young women who say, I'm not going to grow up like this, so they get married thinking that they're doing better than what they saw. So that's a whole different side to it as well.
Right.
You know, settling for something that you didn't necessarily need, but you chose it because you thought that what you saw in front of you wasn't good.
And also, I think too is that people are I mean, you know, especially women, if they're afraid of rejection and failure. For instance, I was talking to a young lady, and she was working in a certain position, and she was like, it's kind of like she's sick of it. It's not paying a lot of money. It's not even paying her bills. And so I said, well, to be the top person there, how long would it take? And it's, to be a pharmacist. And she said, well, it takes 6 years. And I said, okay, well, in 6 years, you'll still be at the same position, making the same amount of money. So why not strive to get that position if that's what you desire?
Right.
But I think people are afraid of what it takes to get to that position.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that there can be success in failure?
Absolutely, because you learn from failure.
Right.
If you never try, you'll never know what you could or will become.
I was just going to piggyback a little bit on something that you were saying, Pastor Lenore, and that is, I think also that if a female tends to settle for less than what she deserves, I think it has also a lot to do with the culture in which she's brought up. In some countries, it's a little bit more prevalent than in others. So if that young woman is brought up where even if the females are trained to grow up and be homemakers and around the house and, prepare for a husband and all that role. And they're not encouraged to get educated and things like this, which we kind of take for granted in our country. But I think that if it's in another culture, it could be even more very prevalent for them not to aspire, especially to tread into grounds or territory which is predominantly male-oriented.
Right. Now, just dealing with the, that's really like the professional side, but also dealing with like relationships. And I don't want us to just be so one-set-minded on man and woman, but even with woman and woman, when you have those friendships that you just basically deal with who they are, and a lot of women may just have one friend. So we're just going to just use that as an example. Somebody just may have one friend, and that one friend is very dominant. You may say, Pastor Lenore, Sai, I want to go do X, Y, Z. Sai would say, okay, we can go, but then you guys end up going to do something totally different than what you do. But yet, when you get home, you complain about the situation. Is that a healthy situation to deal with that? Why do we as women just settle to say, okay, this is who she is, and I would just settle for who she is?
Well, I think that, again, and not to keep going back to this, but I think so much of who we become starts when we're little girls. So when you think about being back in elementary school and wanting to be with the popular girl or, wanting to have friends, and again, I think there was more pressure on girls than there were on boys, because boys, it was about, being involved in sports and being athletic, but, it was about making friends and, having little girlfriends over for tea parties and all that stuff. And I think that's carried into adulthood where we will hang in with relationships even when they're toxic. And that's, like you said, that can either be a girl, you know, just somebody who's a platonic friend, or in relationships, because I think that relationships have taken such a very important place in our lives as women, that we will, you know, hang in longer than we probably should sometimes.
I agree with Pastor Lenore too, because I heard someone say this on TV today, and she was like, every girl needs girlfriends, and so, like you said, we are supposed. And then you look at you see a female that does not have girlfriends. The first thing you think is, what's wrong with her? Why doesn't she have girlfriends? Because you're thinking, okay, why is nobody in her life? And so I think too, even as women, because we are nurturers by nature, I think we can change the situation, whether that's you know, the guy we're dating or the girlfriends. We think that, you know, over time we can change who these people are.
But do you think that's a true statement to say, that every girl needs girlfriends?
What? Do I think it's
Do you think it's a true statement? Do you think a woman really needs to have a girlfriend? Is that a true statement?
I think that everybody needs to have friends. I guess it was because of the way that it was said, or maybe the way that it was taken, that, you know, it may have seemed like a negative connotation, but in all actuality, I mean, the Bible speaks about friends. So I think everyone needs friends, because if you don't have an outlet, someone that you can talk to, then you're talking to yourself, and then you need some medication, and then, you know, you need to be in a room.
So you agree that everybody needs a friend?
I think it's the right kind of friend, too.
Exactly.
The right
It has to
kind
be.
of friend.
It has
That's
to-
very, very important.
It has to be a way you feed each other. It can't, like you say, it can't be a toxic relationship. But I think that, I mean, I think to me, it's unhealthy for a woman not to have any female friends. I just think, I mean, that's what you created.
Why is
that's
it unhealthy?
Because that's who you are, and you can't relate to another female as a
Maybe,
friendship.
maybe it's not the point of you not relating to somebody else. Maybe just that right person has not come along. What if you have a woman who has tried people, and each person they have tried, and they made a decision to say, you know what, I'm not going to settle for somebody who is not going to be true to me. And you can have your ups and your downs, and I'm not going to say each day is a sunny day. I'm not going to say, you know, we're supposed to be, you know, holding hands and running in the grass together, count, you know, looking at the sunflowers. You have friends like that, but it's why is it unhealthy?
But I think when you look at that, if a woman keeps having everybody that's not, she says, not friendly, then she got to check herself. Because the Bible says is that the first sign is to have friends is to first show yourself friendly.
Right.
So if everybody is toxic and everybody is bad, first of all, ain't nobody perfect, because if they was perfect, they wouldn't want to be your friend, because you're not perfect.
Right.
But I think when you start to look at she doesn't have any female friends, and you got to say, wait a minute, what's wrong with her that everybody she can't connect with? I think that's a problem.
And that's what I was going to say. You mean to tell me in your whole life, now, you're not a girl, you're a woman, and you haven't found one person or two people at least, because you should find more than one. But if you can't find at least two people that you can be a friend to, or can be a friend to you, then there's something wrong on the inside.
Well, I disagree. I disagree with them. If you're saying that you don't have any friends, then something's wrong with you. I disagree with you all. I do. I mean, I disagree. I'm not saying that, you know, that they're crazy or whoever is crazy. I just think there are some women in life who say, I'm not going to, you know, just deal with any woman. And if someone is going to be true to me, they're going to be true to me. But I don't consider them crazy or something's wrong with them because they don't have a
That's
friend.
what the root could be, that she's hurt, and so she's not letting anyone in to even, that's
Right,
why I say
so
the
it's
Bible says
something
first
wrong
show
with
yourself
that woman
friendly
on the inside.
to gain friends. So
Yeah.
it's not saying you're crazy, but it's saying you're not even letting anyone in, giving them a chance because of past relationships. And when you truly forgive people, then that shouldn't have any merit on the new people you meet. It shouldn't.
And you know, over a lifetime, if we're talking about this over a lifetime, if you mean this for a season in her life,
That's one thing.
she doesn't have friends. But I mean, as her personality grows and develops and she gains confidence and so forth, then that kind of suggests that there's going to come a time when that person will start to reach out and maybe be a little bit more trusting. And that's the contrast to, I read something very interesting where they said, well, there are some women who will travel in groups. And what they do is there's the one who is the, quote, the pretty girl, the looker. And the other ones who don't feel at least that they look as glamorous and as attractive as she. They'll go along with her because, after all, the male attention is going to be directed toward her. But maybe anybody that she's not interested in, maybe they'll turn their attention to her. Now, that's a kind of a dependency that is not healthy.
So my girlfriends look good.
Well, of course, ladies, we have to take a break. But, of course, you know, to our viewers, I'm sure that you can see that we have a lot more to say, but please do not go anywhere because the next thing that we may have will be for you. We would like to thank Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries for sponsoring our show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries are excited to announce our second annual Victorious Conference. This year, the conference will be held in the city known for brotherly love. That's right, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Join Victorious Ministries at the Philadelphia Lowe's Hotel from Thursday, July 21st through Sunday, July 24th. For more information and early registration, please see any member of the conference committee or call 410-433-8066. See you there.
And welcome back to Conversations. And we have Tracy here with the 411. What's the 411, hon?
Hi, I'm Sister Tracy, and this is the 411. On February the 1st, Victorious Ministries will be launching our new website. And on February the 2nd, we will be streaming live. That's it. If you're unable to make it to any of the services for any reason, you can just go to our website, which is www.victorycenterministries.org, and you'll be able to get the services then. Now, on February the 17th, between 5 and 9 p.m., we will be at the Chick-fil-A at 2008 Joppa Road. Now, we're asking everyone to come out and fellowship with us on that evening, and a portion of the proceeds earned will go to Victorious Ministries. I thank you so very much, and this is Tracy with the 411.
And thank you, Tracy, for the 411. To our viewers who are just tuning in, our earlier show, we were talking about why do women settle for less when they really don't deserve to, in dealing with relationships and also friendships and your jobs, of course. And of course, and now, ladies, our second topic will be about women second-class citizens. Basically, abuse during slavery, you know, the fighting for women's rights. And I really wanted to bring this up, the dealing with women being in the media, music videos and things like that. You know, to each his own, but I really do not agree that women should really show body parts to get what they need. I really disagree with that because I think we had a lot of women that fight hard for a woman to have their right, to feel that sense of freedom. And I want to ask you ladies, do you really think that the fight that we fought, do you think that it has been birthed in any way, dealing with what you see with certain videos, certain magazines and things like that?
For so long, it's been that way, though. I mean, if you date it back even to, you know, the early 1920s, the burlesque shows and things like that, women have been showing their bodies forever. So it's not like it's something that, minus, I guess, slavery time when no one wanted to show their bodies, but it was taken. So I guess it was a means or a way to, you know, dress it up and make it like, okay, I'm beautiful. They're going to keep doing what they do anyway, so let me feel beautiful about myself. So it's been something that's gone on throughout the ages. It's not anything new. It's gotten far worse because women don't even just let men exploit them. We exploit ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not to put the blame on anyone else because the business is there. Now people are going to the business. No one's out recruiting. You go and you sign up yourself. Right. So it's something that's just been handed down through time.
And I think too, you know, like you said, I think women are looking at it as this is a high dollar paid, you know, way of, you know, pretty much getting money. And so versus doing, you know, the normal 9-to-5 job, if it's a way where I can make fast money, get notoriety, what's the problem? And that's what people are looking to do, even in the videos, is they're looking to be the most popular girl in the video. So they're going to do what they need to do to get by, show them, you know, have the least amount of clothes on because they don't want to be known in the video as one of the groupies in the video. They want to be known as the lead girl.
Right.
And so they feel like I'm going to get paid the most money and I'm going to get, you know, to be in other people's videos by being the lead. Why wouldn't I do this? Okay, well, since you said that, let me just, and because you mentioned something about, did you mention something about property, or was I hearing things? I think
well,
even if you didn't, I get what you said.
Okay, well, I want to talk about, because honestly, I really do think having that type of mindset as a man, I really do think, even as a businessman, they look at women as property, because they're, like at home, you go out to invest in to make money, and I really do think that's what they look at women as. And I want to bring this up. Not all men. Shout out to the good men. Peace. No, but I want to bring up this issue that they had out. It was a story that was a few years ago. A woman, a husband sells his wife kidney to buy a tractor because he lost a poker game, some poker game that he came. And of course, this is in Pakistan, which is, you know, overseas or whatever, but that's unheard of here. I pray. I haven't heard anything like that. Right. You know, I understand that, but here it is, a man, he has his wife, and he just comes out and says, okay, well, I'm going to give you my wife's kidney. And she doesn't even have anything to say about it. She just, what can she say?
Well, I think, too, you're dealing with different customs. And when you're dealing with different customs and nationalities, you know, women over there don't have as many rights, really, as we have here, you know, in the United States. And so I think they really don't have much say. But, you know, I don't think you're going to see a whole bunch of Pakistani women in videos shaking it.
Right, exactly.
That's just it.
Yeah.
I think that if American women had a better appreciation of the struggle of women in other cultures, they would be less likely to exploit themselves.
Right.
Because they would consider themselves to be more precious and more valuable. If women in Pakistan, in the Middle East, in India, had the same kind of rights, freedoms, and opportunities as women have here, then you know, I believe that they would value that so much that they would never even consider doing some of the things that unfortunately American women do. So, you know, we can't even blame, you know, the male-dominated culture. The man has kept us down. We're, like you said, we're keeping ourselves down.
And I even look at the young lady, she's called the Video Vixen, and she wrote several books. And people ran out to get the books. I never read the books. But she was, you know, basically talking about her encounters with different celebrity. Some of them were married and not. But she was capitalizing on this. And it just goes to show you this is the mindset of women feeling like, before you exploit me, I'm going to exploit myself.
And you have to consider the fact also that the information explosion is just tremendous now. So that the access to be able to get to literally billions of people over the internet and the information superhighway is so great, so that what may have taken that person a longer time to amass a certain level of wealth, it doesn't take that long to do it in this day and time. So that's a very attractive kind of lure there.
That's right. 15 minutes of fame on YouTube, you can become an overnight sensation.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You can. But do you ladies think that we as women has the courage to go beyond what we perceive or what we think we know? So I was just thinking, driving in a car here, and I can't find not one role model that I can say, you know what, I want to grow up to be like her in the entertainment business. I'm going to say that because the entertainment is really the #1 leading, you know, whatever, you know, whatever it is. But, and I also was looking on the internet too, and it's told me that the iChats and the, you know, chat rooms and the internet period is one of the most leading things that draw and lure, you know, laws and women to do and become something that God never created them to be.
Well, I think that, you know, the entertainment industry definitely has the most influence, especially on younger people. So, you know, whether you're an actor or a singer or a rapper or whatever, they're definitely the most influential. But I think, and I'm going back to, you know, the whole parenting issue that I spoke of in the first half of the show, you know, who are you training your children to look up to as role models? They're an entertainer. They make a lot of money singing, dancing, playing ball, whatever. They're not a role model, nor should they have to be. They just happen to be in the public eye. Now, should they accept responsibility for the influence they have on kids? Absolutely. But I would never gear a young person to look at somebody who just happens to be famous as a role model.
And you don't always know really what they don't really know what that person is like in real life. It's an illusion. It's presenting certain things because that's what it is perceived that the public wants. So they give you the illusion, and that's what's being sold.
But then I would say, too, is that you say, well, you know, it's up to the parents, but then you're dealing with the generation where a lot of the parents are not in the household. They're out there working.
That's true.
They're doing different things. And so basically a lot of our young people are looking to the television, looking to the internet for entertainment, but not entertainment. They're finding their image in the people that they look up to.
Well, I'm going to play Angel's advocate. There are some households, there are some families who are husband and wife, and there are some families that do have that time that are spent with their son and also with their daughter. But at the same time, those sons, those daughters have friends. And sometimes those friends get more respect than the mother and the father. So it's not all the time that the reason why this child or this this daughter or this son is going out trying to become this person because of the household being a failure.
You're right.
Well,
It's not always lack of parenting, but I think that we just as adults need to do a better job of explaining what a role model is. And just because somebody is popular, famous, or wealthy because of a talent they have does not mean that they should be a role model. Like Elder Poole said, you know, a role model should be based on the character of the person, how they live their life, you know, what standards they uphold. And you don't know that about half the entertainers.
That's right.
But then even going a step further, a lot of times we see people in the public, do they have any talent? Because a lot of them just get famous off of some of the craziest things and become famous. And you like, especially with all these reality shows, and you're like, what talent do they really have?
Well, one-hit wonders.
To what Evangelist Sy was saying, you know, that we have parents who aren't in the home, but in this day and age, we also have parents who are not that much older than your children. So what happens is they may be, you know, modeling themselves after what their parents like. So if your parent is listening to, you know, they like this rapper and they always talking about, you know, this singer or whatever, and I'm not saying names purposely because I don't want to, you know, put anybody out there, because these people don't even set out to be a role model. They set out to follow their dreams. So it's not even about, you know, we go and look, and I will mention two people that I specifically heard this. Sanaa Lathan and Gabrielle Union both said that there are some parts or roles that they won't take because they choose not to exploit themselves. And I saw this actually on BET. So if anybody wants to Google that and look it up, and this is why you don't see a lot of Sanaa Lathan in movies, because she said that she just will not sell herself to, you know, get some big fame and fortune, and then she has exploited her entire being. So I applaud her for that. And she has her integrity, and she's, you know, I may not ever be a millionaire, but you will know who I am, and you'll remember that statement of what I said, because you won't see me exploiting myself.
Now that's an example of someone who has character to be a role
That's
model.
right.
That's far few in between, though.
That's
for sure.
Well, ladies, of course, our show has ended.
Yes.
We can go on. I want to leave our viewers with this. Pastor Tony Smith had mentioned a while ago in one of his sermons, the last thing that God created was a woman, and as He finished creating her, He called her masterpiece. And I want to let all of the women out there know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God doesn't make any mistakes when He creates you. And also, you deserve to have the best out of life. Never settle for anything that does not make you happy. And of course, we may not agree and we may not have all the answers, but the one thing that we do stimulate is conversations. God bless you until you see us again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
As usual, we're out of time, but we're never out of conversations. Listen to me. Take some time to Twitter us to ask us any question concerning this particular show. We do not want to leave you without fulfilling your thoughts. God bless you.
Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries are excited to announce our second annual Victorious Conference. This year, the conference will be held in the city known for brotherly love. That's right, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Join Victorious Ministries at the Philadelphia Lowe's Hotel from Thursday, July 21st through Sunday, July 24th. For more information and early registration, please see any member of the conference committee or call 410-433-8066. See you there.